All right, so this is a little bit of a different presentation. Yesterday, I sold a $7,700 WordPress project with a Google Doc, and today I'm going to tell you how I did it. So that's the topic of today's Facebook Live. And the reason I wanted to go into that today, as opposed to some of the other things that we talked about, is because, as you may know, if you've been in the group for a while, or if you've seen several of these videos, you know that one of the things that I do is I offer free phone calls with WordPress professionals and consultants and freelancers who are interested in kind of revamping their business, or maybe they're not making the kind of money they want to be making, or they can't find the right clients, or things like that, and they want to be talking about how to do better. Like, what can they do to kind of restructure things, or reframe the services they offer, and attract the ideal clients that they're looking for at the rates that they're really worth. And so I offer free phone calls about that. So usually we get on the phone for about 45 minutes, and we really dive into exactly what you're working on, what kind of clients you're working with, what kind of clients you want to be working with, what kind of rates you want to charge, what your income goals are that you want your business to generate for you, all of that stuff. And then we put together a plan on how you can get from where you are now to where you want to be. And so one of the things that I want to talk about today was, okay, that sounds all great in kind of abstract terms, or maybe those kinds of ideas are cool, but can it really happen? Can it really happen for you? Like, is it really the kind of thing that you can do? And maybe is it really even, you might be wondering, is it the kind of thing I can do? Like, can I actually pull this off? And how, what credentials do I have to be able to inspire confidence in you that you can do the same thing? And so today I wanted to talk a little bit about that, because there are, I basically do like three things. And, so one thing that I do, and what most people know me for, is for the Cart66 WordPress e-commerce platform, which we launched like 10 years ago. And it's been a huge and awesome opportunity. There's people that are just crushing it on the platform. There's literally people making over $1 million a year, running their stores and so forth on that platform. So that's just been awesome. I love working with the team on that. And, I've had all kinds of doors open for me to be able to go speak at WordCamps. I was speaking at WooConf 2 years ago. And it's just been great. I've talked to tons of people about, WordPress and e-commerce and things like that. So that's been awesome. But the other thing that I've been doing is, for the last 16 years, I've been running our web agency. And the web agency aspect of what I'm doing is a pretty small piece of the overall component. And it's, usually I just do the stuff myself. Like, I work with clients to, and sometimes the clients are huge. Like, if you've looked at the about video on the DoubleStack website, you'll know about this. But I used to work for the United States government doing bioterrorism surveillance, and I've had projects with like Microsoft, and have worked with like really large organizations with that kind of stuff. But I also, and in fact, that was mostly in the past. Today, mostly what I do is I work with like solopreneurs and like health coaches, or personal coaches, or writers and authors, or doctors, especially in the functional medicine arena, and that are having like startup practices, and they tend to be mostly like customer-facing businesses, as opposed to like Microsoft or bioterrorism surveillance or whatever. So I really enjoy working with business owners and helping with that kind of stuff. And I guess you might put it under the title of like WordPress freelancing. That's the kind of market that I really enjoy working with the most. And I've been doing it for like 16 years, and really focusing on the WordPress part with Cart66 for about 10 years. And so so that's why I wanted to kind of bring this all this stuff up, because yesterday, like literally like last night at like 6 o'clock, I put together a Google Doc. And I was working. This was with a functional medicine practice, like a holistic medical practice, and they're kind of a startup. They haven't been in business for very long at all, and they don't really have much of a website at all right now. And when I got on the phone, I actually got on the phone with them on Friday. So I kind of started the conversation then, and we kind of looked at stuff together, and I kind of took a survey of their website. And then I put together just like a Google. I wasn't even like a formal proposal, but I followed a really specific process in doing it. And so I emailed that off like Friday night, got the call back on Monday, and by 6 o'clock Monday afternoon, everybody was ready to go. And it was a $7,700 project. And so that was awesome, right? So how did that happen? So like, obviously I can do it. In fact, the last time, the past 4 clients that I've talked to have all signed up for websites that are at least $5,000. And And so what I want to do is I want to be able to do the same exact thing for you. I want to show you how to do that. I want to show you exactly the steps to put forth with regard to how you write a proposal, how you talk about the projects, how you can like look at somebody's website and come up with ideas for how it can be improved, their overall online marketing experience, all of that stuff. Like what is it that it takes to be able to do that stuff? And so I basically am doing three things now. The first thing I have, that we talked about is Cart66 and the e-commerce platform. The second thing is I run this web agency. But now the third thing, and this started like last Thanksgiving, basically. I kind of felt like enough was enough. Like I've been, I get a lot of exposure to WordPress professionals, through Cart66 tickets, and like I mentioned, like the WordCamp. Got my WordCamp Raleigh shirt on. So if you're in the Raleigh area, around the time that they do their WordCamps, that's an awesome WordCamp to go to. I'm in Virginia, so I'm not too far, but I've made some great friends there. They just run the show really tight. It's a great place to be, and if you have a chance and you're in that area, head out to a WordCamp Raleigh. So, but anyway, so all that is to say, I've had so much exposure to the people that are trying to do this stuff that last Thanksgiving I said, you know what, I'm going to put together an 8-week course, and it's going to be the kind of thing that I'll just teach people how to do exactly what I just did last night. And so as I've been doing these calls, one of the things that is the number one thing that people want to talk to me about is how can they like make more money at their job? Like how can they get higher paying clients? How can they build higher paying WordPress sites? Like what is that? And of course, then the conversation kind of branches off into all of these other areas, like how can I get more clients? How can I charge more for the projects? How can I get like better leads? How can I get the kind of clients I really want to work with? But it really all stems back to people just want to do a good job for their clients. They want to get paid for their work. They want to be able to just double or triple their income. Like here's the thing: most people that I talk to tend to be right around the $35,000 range in their annual income with regard to the money their WordPress business generates. And it's hard to live on that. There's no question. But like, I feel incredibly confident that most of the people that I talk to, I could double their income in a week. I mean, I know that's a really bold statement, but I know that this stuff this stuff works. And so that's why I put together the program. So it's 8 weeks. And it's so like, what kind of stuff do we cover? There's two components. We call it DoubleStack for a reason, and it's a double stack of stuff that you need to be able to do in order to scale your business like this. And the first stack is the tech stack. So almost everyone I talk to already knows how to build a WordPress site. It's not about how to build a WordPress site. It's about how do you build a WordPress site in such a way that you have this clean, streamlined system for building, for deploying, for maintaining, for securing the site, without 50 million plugins, with licenses expiring all the time and visual builders popping up all over the place. And how do you get a nice clean site that you can reproduce quickly so that you don't have to work so many hours to be able to deliver an even better than you otherwise would have WordPress site. So get a system in place for that. So that's part of the tech stack. Another part is, what are some of the things that you can do that will like what can you put on a website that generates real business outcomes for the clients that you're working with? So for example, what can you do to get more leads for your client, more phone calls, or to like audience segmentation is another thing. So like if you I work with doctors a lot, and the doctors can do a bunch of things. So they can do like dietitians, they can do gluten-free stuff, they can do diabetic, glucose related stuff, they can do weight loss stuff. How do you get the right information to the people that actually care about what you're talking about? So like, don't send the diabetic information about insulin to the people that are interested in gluten-free living. And if somebody's interested in weight loss stuff, then don't send them the same thing. That would be the diabetic stuff. So how do you segment that audience? So we make sure that you have those kinds of skills so you can do that stuff. And we talk about like email campaigns and drip campaigns and email marketing and sales funnels and all the kinds of things that really drive like a business outcome for your clients. Like making sure that you know how to do all that stuff, and not just that you know how to do it, but you actually have a nice system in place so that you can do it effectively and efficiently for all of your clients. So that's the tech stack. So once you get that tech stack, the next part is the business development stack. And that's the part where, okay, now that you know how to do all that stuff, what do you do to actually communicate that to the people you want to work with? How do you attract the right clients? How do you attract the people that you want to work with? Like maybe you want to work with doctors too. I mean, I like that because I'm really interested in like health and Like I'm a gluten-free person. You know, I try to, you know, live like that. And so that's just something that's kind of interesting to me. And I also have a lot of contacts that I've developed over the years. Like, I don't know if you've ever heard of Dr. Tom O'Brien. He's like the world's leader with regard to, you know, gluten-free living and autoimmune disease and stuff like that. So if that's the kind of stuff that you're interested in, or if maybe you're interested in something else, like how do you attract the types of clients that you're interested in that you can really help, that'll be really energizing to work with, and that, you know, it's just, you know, as you work with them, you're learning cool stuff about stuff that you already like. You know, so maybe you want to like kind of niche down on a segment like that. Well, let's talk about how to do it. Or maybe it's something else. Maybe you're really into other things. Maybe you like authors and writers, or like health coaches or psychologists, or, you know, whatever it might be. Let's talk about how to connect with those kinds of folks so that you can actually be building sites for people you like working with on a long-term basis at a high value rate. That's the whole big picture, right? So that's the business development stack. And it includes stuff like, you know, figuring out who your target market is, like who it is that you really want to work with, what are the rates you want to be charging, how can you communicate that kind of value, you know, how do you write proposals, how do you write copy and content that really resonates with folks, and not only how can you do it for yourself, but how can you do that kind of stuff for the clients you want to be working with. And so it's like a big business development stack on the other side. So that's the two things. So the 8-week program, it's got that tech stack, it's got that business development stack. And when you put all that together, then you get the third benefit, which is a restructuring of your business. So so for example, if you want to be able to scale to like a 6-figure business, then you're not going to be able to do that by building $1,000 websites for folks every month, because it's just the math and everything, it just doesn't add up right. So like, even if you wanted to get to like $60K a year, that's $5,000 a month. That would mean if you're selling $1,000 WordPress sites, you'd have to be selling like 5 of them a month, and not just selling them, but like building, launching, and deploying 5 every month, and that gets you to 5K. And you just can't do that. You can't do that much work. You can't find that many clients. You can't get that many leads. And even if you could, just from experience, I know that it takes at least a month from start to finish to get a website published. And because there's DNS issues, you got, you know, who owns the domain name, how are you going to reconfigure the IP address? There's technical stuff, coordinating schedules to go over things, and you know, getting the copy for the website, and, you know, going through the review process, and all of the things that you have to do to launch a website. You just can't do 5 of them every single month by yourself. And so let's restructure your business in a way that actually gives you a platform that you can scale to a 6-figure business. Now, I'm not saying I can do that for you overnight, because I mean, that's going to take a lot of work to be able to do that. You have to be committed. You have to you realize that the business the structure that you have right now isn't working at the level you want it to be. You're ready to make, you know, some changes, and so you're committed to do it. And it takes a little bit of time to sort that out and to get the clients you really want. You have to be decisive. You have to be resourceful. It's like, I can show you how to do all this stuff, but I can't do it all for you. I can just show you the pattern and teach you how it all works. We can consult about it. But the people that really get the kinds of outcomes we're talking about are people that are ready to dig in and, you know, and just start crushing it. So I can absolutely help you formalize like the kind of business packages that you want, and you know, what prices to charge, how do you we can practice your onboarding presentations for new prospects together to make sure you're hitting on the right points, you know, all of that stuff. And the bottom line is it absolutely works, and you don't have to do, you know, crazy things with fancy proposals and, you know, huge things, you know, wasting time sending out proposals and never hearing back. Like, how many times have you sent out a proposal and you're like, man, this proposal is fabulous, fantastic, but you're kind of sweating it a little bit because you're worried that the price might be too high, and, you know, maybe there's other people out there that are going to do it for cheaper, and, you know, why would they why would your client work with you? You know, maybe that's something that you're kind of sweating a little bit. And then, you know, but you send out the proposal nevertheless, and then you never hear back, or you know, nobody's replying. Like, how do you fix that problem, right? So that's an issue. We can absolutely work through that and resolve the issue. So like I was just talking about, the project I closed last night was like a 48-hour turnaround from, they called me, they had $800 to less than $1,000 budget in mind. Like, so I talked to the lady, and we get to saying things, and she's like, you know, we got this problem with our website, whatever. Can you kind of, you know, ramp things up a little bit? You know, we don't have a whole lot of money to spend. And of course, then by the end of it all, you know, as I lay out the different options for them and so forth, they ended up with, you know, $7,700 product, which is way more. That's like almost 10 times what they had in mind. So what do you do to shift your client's mindset out of, yeah, I've got 500, 800, $1,000 into, yeah, here's something that we can do for almost $10,000, right? So it's like, how do you shift your client's mindset from that? Let's talk about doing that. So so that's why I put the DoubleStack program together. And a lot of people don't know that when we get on the phone call. Now, granted, the phone call is not a sales call for the program. So if the phone call is really to dig into your business, to talk about what you're doing, and if there's things that I can do to help, then I offer those things. But it's maybe there's stuff I can't do to help or whatever. So the purpose of the call is to just kind of get you thinking about different things that you might be able to do. And then if you want to work together to implement those things, that's the DoubleStack program. We can work on that together. It's really in depth. It's like a mentoring thing. And we focus more on the mentoring aspect and really just, there is an online course component. Like you log into our members area, you've got over 30 some different lessons in there to really ramp up your skills in all of these areas. But what really differentiates what we're doing here from everything else is the support, like the mentoring, the live interaction, the mindset training, right? The mindset is a huge deal. So like if you want to get your business from, making $35K a year to $60K a year, $70K a year, that's like doubling your income, and your mindset is going to be a big point in that. Like, are you sure that you have the skills and the confidence to go out there and put, $5,000 on a proposal if you're used to putting $500 on a proposal? So we'll work on that together to make sure that you understand the value and the power that you bring to your projects, and that you make sure that your client understands that as well. So that's another big thing. We have an entire lesson specifically about running high value client meetings, and what that looks like. What's the structure of that meeting? How do you do it? Like how do you make it so that people understand that what you can deliver is actually something that's going to solve problems that they have? And there's a really specific structure to that changes everything about how your clients see you, how you see yourself, the prices that you can charge, how you differentiate yourself from everybody else. So all of that's a really big deal. And so we can go through all of those types of things together. So that's what I wanted to talk about today, was the fact that if you want to talk together, we can work on this. Give me a call. I've got my schedule posted up on our website at doublestack.net/call. And so you'll see a whole list of times that where I have availability. Pick one that works for you. And then right after that, you're going to see a little form with, there's a couple questions where you give me a link to your website if you have one, and tell me a little bit about your history, like how familiar are you with WordPress? What are your clients like? What do you want to be? Just some background information, so that when we get on this call, we can really pack it full of value for you, and really get you what you're looking for. So if that sounds like something you want to do, head on over to doublestack.net/call, pick a time, and then we'll get on the phone and we'll talk together. And now I think it's really the kind of thing where if you're sick and tired of heading over to Upwork or Fiverr or whatever, and you just can't find the kinds of clients you're looking for, you don't know how to connect to them. Maybe that, man, you've got great skills, but you're just not able to communicate that in a way that really attracts the clients at the prices you want. So let's talk about fixing that, so that like literally within a couple of days from getting started, you've got a whole new perspective on how things work. You've got business packages that you can go out and start onboarding new clients onto like right away. So you don't have to go through all 8 weeks of the program just to get a benefit. Like the very first lesson, I'll walk you through a business development package. It takes about an hour to learn. And right after that, we can get on the phone again and talk about that. Talk about like if you have any questions about it, you make sure you understand how it works. If you want to go out and if you want to like practice your onboarding presentation with me, we'll do that. And I think it'll really open your eyes to really the potential that you have to like rock it out as a WordPress developer. So it's a really exciting thing. I'm really excited about it. And if you are too, let's get on the phone and talk about it and get you to the point where you're just crushing it. So head over to doublestack.net/call, pick a time, we'll talk. And if that sounds cool to you, then I really look forward to meeting you. Here's a high five. Boop. And that's pretty much what I got for today. So it's if you have any questions about any of this stuff, go ahead and leave it in the comments below, and I'll keep an eye on this post throughout the week, and we can reply and answer to questions that way. And of course, when you're ready to talk, let's go ahead and do that too. So really looking forward to meeting you and talking to you. So doublestack.net/call, that's where you'll find the schedule to sign up for one of these breakthrough calls. And awesome, guys. So that's what we got for today. And yeah, so I really look forward to talking to you, and I will see you again on Thursday for another one of these videos. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, let me know, and I'll be talking to you soon. Another high five. Talk to you soon.